What is it that is the secret behind the stupendous wealth and prosperity of the Living Faith Church, also known as Winners Chapel International? According to the presiding bishop, he said when the ministry began, they operated the 30-70 financial principle. 30% of every income generated was spent on overhead and 70 was kept on reserve. So 30% on overhead, 10% on tithe, and then 60% on reserve. That was at the beginning, according to the bishop.
You know, my income in this church was 300 naira at the beginning. What was it? That is the only affordable from our level, because we are not permitted by principle to go beyond 30% of our income. Because you might want to wonder, how did you get that? We are not permitted to go beyond 30% of our income as overhead. So that defines what you can employ. Can I hear your amen? No, there's somebody saying, say God told them. In ministry, we have a lot of that. We could not, by our own law, go beyond 30% overhead. You destroy the future of the organization. If it's the income and you have 30%, if that is your agenda, you know how much you cannot go beyond. And that tells how much anybody can earn.
Presently, or as of today, the Living Faith Church spends only 20% of all her income on overhead, and they are paying a staff of over 38,000 people. 20% is spent on overhead, 10% goes to someone, as the tithe of the commission or the ministry, and then 70 is kept as the owner's funds or kept on reserve.
Amen. I'm not sure we are doing 20% now. And yet, we have about 38,000 people in our system.
According to Papa, as we have heard, at the beginning, the church spent 30% of their income on overhead. 20% presently is what they spend, to take care of the 38,000 people who are working there. 10% goes to one person, it's mentor as tithe, and then the remaining is kept as the reserve fund for the owners of the business. Now, let's assume that the average staff salary of every staff in the ministry is 50,000. Multiply that into 38,000, and you're going to get 1.9 billion monthly. The question is, where did this policy come from? Where did the Living Faith Church get this financial policy? Is it from the Bible? Because as a church, we should operate, the scriptural financial guidelines. Is there in scriptures? Where did this come from? I will look at that in the next part, and I pray that God will help us, direct us, guide us to know what God says to us, so that we can do what is right always. Be blessed.